Explain degenerate dimension or fact dimension. The next interview question, SSAS interview question. If you see the degenerate dimension and the fact dimension, both are one and the same. Let's see what it is with an example. Sometimes you need to use the data. I mean, you need to provide the data to the users which is present in the fact table. Sometimes user needs that information for their analysis purpose. For example, if you take sales orders and if you take, let's take our fact table here. We have the fact table, fact internet sales. If you see, let me explore the data for this particular table. Sometimes user want the data like sales order number, this particular guy, or purchase order. We'll be having it somewhere here. Purchase order number if it is available, but it's not available in this case. So sometimes user wants this information like a sales order number or purchase order number for their analysis purpose. And you can give one more example like if you see that cricket database, people maintain the comments for each and every ball. If you see crickinfo.com, for every ball there will be a comment. So that is maintained at the fact level information. So the comment will not be repeated for two different balls, right? So it will be unique. So it will be maintained at the fact level information. Sometimes user wants that information to be present in the dimension for the querying purpose. So when you use the fact level data or the data that is present in the fact table to create a dimension, then we call it as a fact dimension or degenerate dimension. So it's degenerating its fact functionality and becoming a dimension here. That's why we call it as degenerate dimension. Let's see an example here how we can create a degenerate dimension using the fact internet sales, and my intention or my requirement is to provide a sales order number to the user for querying purpose. If I have this information in my fact table and if I add the measure group, let's say if you see here I have added the measure group, this is my cube which I have created. I added the measure group fact internet sales, and you don't see that information sales or a number because it has some textual information. It's not an integer data. So how can I provide that sales order information which is requested by the user? By using the degenerate dimension. Let me show you how I can create that. First, you need to create a dimension using the fact table here. So the fact table have these two columns. It's a composite primary key. So you have to use these two columns to provide uniqueness to each and every record in the particular fact table. Okay. Second thing, when you have two or more columns in your key columns, you have to provide the name column. So let me provide the name column as sales order number. Here it is. Let me go for it, and I don't want to add product. Okay, and because I already have the product dimension added to my cube, I don't need it anymore here. And let me say I want revision number, or I want purchase order number. Something, customer purchase order number, something like that. Click on next, and I'll name this particular dimension as sales order. Sales orders. This is the best name to give here. Now the dimension is created. The dimension here is created with the help of fact table, so we call it as degenerate dimension. Let me process it quickly. Okay, the dimension process successfully here, and if I go to the browser, I can see the sales orders if I select the attribute sales order number. Customer purchase order, if it is any, there is no customer purchase order in my database. If I go to the sales order number here, it will display the sales order number. So this is the degenerate dimension. Let me quickly add this dimension to my cube and show you what kind of data users will be interested in. If I add the dimension sales order, then you don't need to provide the dimension usage because this particular dimension is created based on the fact table, that is fact internet sales. That means both the fact table and the dimension table are created based on the same underlying table, so it will be fact relationship. Automatically it will be taken. So I need to process this cube to pull, to make it accessible to the users, the sales order details or sales order information. Let me quickly do that. It's not going to take more time. Okay, this is done. Now user will be interested in sales order wise sales, because people know that a particular sales order has good amount of sales. They might be interested in particular sales order. So if you drag and drop the sales order number here, It will list out all the sales order number. When you add the fact data, let's say you want to see the sales amount. It's executing the query. It is showing sales order wise, because and sometimes user will look for what product this particular sales order belongs to, or what product belongs to this particular sales order. Let me drag and drop the English product name here so that you can see that information too. So for this kind of analysis, users may request for having the sales order number as the dimension. Actually, this particular data will not be available as part of a dimension table. So we use the fact table and we degenerate its fact functionality, and we create the dimension based on the fact table, and hence we call it as degenerate dimensions. And the next question will be why people don't maintain a dimension table for the sales order number, why they are directly giving it into the fact table. The reason is this particular sales order, if you see sales order number, it's kind of one-to-one relationship. That means if you have 50,000 records in your fact table, there will be almost close to 50,000 different sales order number. So it's one-to-one. So the size of the dimension will grow equal to the size of the fact table, which is unnecessary storage space, and space will get wasted and so on. That is one reason people don't maintain these kind of information in a separate dimension table. They'll keep their information in the fact table to avoid a lot of space waste. So that is why this degenerate dimension concept came into picture. As I told you, when the interviewer asks you for an example, you can give sales order number here as one example, and you can also give the comments in the quick commentary. For example, quick info, most of the interviewers might be aware of that. So you can give that the comments is one of the information in case users requested for that. People generally don't request for that. In case if they ask for that, then we have to go for degenerate dimension or fact dimension. Hope you understood the concepts of the fact dimension or degenerate dimension. And stay tuned for more videos on SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS interview questions. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.